All right, let's dive into some everyday English phrases.
Ooh, I like it.
Those phrases we use all the time without even thinking about them?
Yeah, like they just roll right off the tongue, don't they?
Exactly. We're using 15 Common Spoken English Phrases Part 1 to guide us today, so
Okay.
get ready to uncover some surprising depths in these phrases.
It's like we're about to go on an archaeological dig for language.
I love that. By the end of this deep dive, you'll be using these phrases with way more confidence.
Absolutely. Whether you're traveling, meeting new people, or just chatting with friends.
Okay, let's start with a classic "What's up?" Seems simple enough, right?
Yeah, you hear it everywhere.
But I bet you've never really considered all the layers beneath the surface.
True. It's not really about what someone is doing at that moment. It's more like a social signal.
Like a verbal handshake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like saying, hey, I acknowledge you. Let's be friendly.
Interesting. The source mentions typical responses like, not much, or nothing new. But honestly, how often are those answers actually true?
Uh-huh. Good point. It's more about the interaction than the information.
So it's a kind of ritual, a little back and forth that helps us connect.
Exactly. It sets the tone for the whole conversation.
What's up? Small phrase, big impact.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of navigating social situations,
Oh, yeah.
let's talk about, excuse me.
A real multitasker in the world of voices.
You use it for everything. Getting attention, squeezing past people, apologizing.
Right, like, excuse me, I didn't mean to bump into you.
Exactly. Instantly smooths over an awkward moment.
It's like social WD-40.
I like that. And it's so important in different cultures, too.
Oh, how so?
Well, some cultures value directness,
Okay.
but in others, a well-placed, excuse me, is crucial for politeness.
Interesting. Now, let's move on to some potentially trickier phrases.
Okay.
Those questions about age and profession, especially for non-native speakers.
Ooh, yeah, like, how old are you? Or,
Yeah.
what do you do for a living?
Exactly. In some cultures, these are perfectly normal conversation starters, but
In others, they can be a bit too personal, a little intrusive.
the source even suggests alternatives for starting a conversation without asking about age.
Right, like focusing on names or shared interests instead.
It all comes down to cultural sensitivity.
Absolutely. For example, in many Asian cultures, age is super important for showing respect.
So you would use different titles or honorifics based on someone's age.
Exactly. But in Western cultures, directly asking someone's age can feel like you're crossing a line.
Interesting. And it's similar with professions, right?
Yeah, in some cultures, your job is a big part of your identity.
You'd lead with it in a conversation.
But in other cultures, asking about someone's job can feel like you're judging their status.
Or prying into their personal life.
Exactly. Not everyone wants to be defined by what they do for a living.
It's like those hidden rules of conversation.
The ones that aren't written down but can make or break an interaction.
So we have to be mindful that simple phrases can carry a lot more weight than we realize.
Absolutely. Mastering a language is about way more than just memorizing words.
It's like learning the culture along with the vocabulary.
Exactly. The more you understand these cultural nuances, the more fluent and confident you'll become in your conversations.
So how will we help our listener become more culturally fluent with these phrases?
Well, one way is to encourage them to pay close attention to how these phrases are used in real-life conversations, like when you're watching a movie or listening to people chat at a cafe.
Right, like real-world examples.
Yeah,
And don't be afraid to try these phrases out yourself. Practice makes perfect, right?
absolutely. And remember, even native speakers make mistakes sometimes.
That's true.
So embrace those mistakes as opportunities to learn and refine your skills.
Mistakes are just stepping stones on the path to fluency.
Exactly. And as you practice and become more comfortable with these phrases,
Yeah.
you'll find that they become second nature, like you don't even have to think about them anymore.
Okay, let's look at a few more of these common phrases. We've talked about greetings and apologies,
Right.
but what about expressing gratitude? Thanks a lot seems pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
but is there more to it than meets the eye? I mean, it does seem pretty simple on the surface.
Well, even thank you can have its nuances.
So thanks a lot is like a step up from a plain thanks.
Exactly. It shows a deeper level of appreciation, like when someone's really helped you out.
So it's all about choosing the right phrase for the situation.
Right. Like if you want to emphasize your gratitude even more.
You might say thank you so much.
Exactly. Or many thanks, which has a more formal feel to it.
It's like having different shades of thank you in your vocabulary.
Exactly. And it's not just about saying it, it's also about how you respond when someone thanks you.
Oh, that's true. We usually say, you're welcome, right?
Yeah, the classic response.
But the source mentions no problem and anytime, too.
Those have slightly different vibes.
Like, no problem is more casual.
Yeah, it kind of downplays the effort you made.
And anytime suggests you're always happy to help.
Right. It's like choosing the right tool for the job, you know?
We're getting pretty nuanced here.
Uh-huh. Exactly. And that nuance is what makes communication so fascinating, isn't it?
It is. Now, what about when we need to ask for something?
Oh, yeah.
The source talks about please. Seems obvious, but
Like crucial.
yeah, please can turn a demand into a polite request.
It's like a magic word that shows respect for the other person.
Like, can you pass the salt, please?
Exactly. It makes all the difference.
Okay, please is key for making requests. How about, can I help you?
That one's interesting because it can have different meanings depending on the context.
Right, like in a store, it usually means the employee is trying to be helpful.
Yeah, but if you're struggling with something and a stranger says it,
It can feel kind of condescending, like they think you can't handle it yourself.
right. It's all about reading the situation and paying attention to their tone of voice.
So context is key with, can I help you?
Absolutely. Now, for our last phrase today, let's revisit I'm sorry.
We talked about it with bumping into someone.
But it can express so much more than just an apology, right?
Yeah, like regret or sympathy.
Exactly. You can use it to apologize for a mistake, offer condolences.
Even just to acknowledge someone's pain.
Right. It's a very versatile phrase.
And the source mentions my apologies as a more formal alternative.
Yeah, it adds a level of seriousness to the apology.
Like when a simple, I'm sorry, doesn't quite cut it.
Exactly. So we see again how, even with apologies, we have different levels of formality to choose from.
It's like we're building a communication toolbox
Mm-hmm.
filled with different options for each situation.
Exactly. And the more tools you have, the more effectively you can communicate, right?
And the more confident you'll feel in any conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like having the right words at your fingertips.
Exactly. We're not just speaking, we're crafting our message.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on common English phrases, what's the one big takeaway you'd like our listeners to remember?
I'd say it's that language is so much more than just words on a page, you know?
It's not just about grammar rules and vocabulary lists.
Exactly. It's a living, breathing thing that changes and grows with us.
It's how we connect with each other, how we share our thoughts and ideas.
And understanding the nuances of these everyday phrases,
Yeah.
it helps us make those connections even stronger.
So we've explored these 15 common phrases, but
Yeah.
it's really just a starting point, isn't it?
Absolutely. There's a whole world of expressions out there to discover.
And as you continue to learn and explore,
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave you with this final thought.
Okay.
How do you think technology and globalization are changing the way we use language?
That's a great question. It's like language is constantly evolving.
Our new phrases are popping up, old ones are taking on new meanings.
Exactly. And it's up to us to keep up, to stay curious, and keep learning.
So keep exploring, keep practicing, and most importantly,
Yeah,
have fun with it.
absolutely. The more you engage with language, the more rewarding it becomes.
And remember, this was just part one. There's so much more to discover in the world of English phrases.
Oh, yeah. We've only just scratched the surface.
So stay curious, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.